That's a good question. So first of all, I just want to say that, there's been a lot of press about the awards and the Oscar qualifying festivals and all that stuff from Oshari, but that's really not the reason why we make movies. It just kind of sort of happened. In fact, when I came up with the idea for Oshari, I was 13 years old. I was very young when I came up with this idea. And really, I was just thinking, I grew up on these kind of big Hollywood movies, and, it's always like the Avengers saving New York and aliens attacking New York or London. And these big events are always happening in other parts of the world, the major cities. And I thought, what's happening in Bangladesh? What would happen if it's the end of the world, but the focus of the film is on Bangladesh and its small community of survivors, maybe just two sisters. So that was one initial seed of the idea. And I don't know, I just as a child, I was always afraid of the Moshari. As a kid, I don't know if anyone else has had this feeling. When I was a kid, I'd sleep under the moshari, and I don't know, the moonlight would trap inside the moshari in a weird way where it would kind of glow, the net would kind of glow, and you can't see what's outside. So I would imagine, what if there's like a monster or something on the other side? And when the wind blows, batashta jokhon ekটু থাকে, it's like you feel like, well, what if it was a creature? What if it was like a finger on the other side of the moshari? So my imagination would run wild as a child, and I just wanted to translate those childhood fears, very specific, very culturally specific childhood fears, into something hopefully universal. And just the idea of the moshari, because weirdly, the moshari made me feel safe and protected. At the same time, I felt suffocated, just like the little girl in the film says, Apu, আজকে মশারি নিচে না ঘুমালে হয় না? What if I don't sleep under the moshari tonight? I feel that every night, I feel like, do I really need this? It's suffocating. And I think that dual role that the moshari plays, where it both protects you and it suffocates you, that's our relationship with family sometimes. Our family, they both protect us, but sometimes in trying to protect us, they suffocate us, they make us feel like, okay, this is a little too much. And that's the relationship between the two sisters. A lot of that is taken from my own personal life, and again, from my childhood trauma and experiences and that feeling of protection. So yeah, I just really wanted to put all that together in a movie. And I really didn't expect it to sort of win awards, though. I wasn't even thinking awards. I wasn't even thinking film festivals, because when I finished the film, and we got some local support, we got some sort of personal investments, and I had some savings from advertisements and soap commercials and bathroom cleaning commercials that I directed, saving up money for all that. So when we finished it, we showed it to all these really great producers in Bangladesh. And so the headline version, the clickbait version, is every producer in Bangladesh said no to me when I showed them Moshari, but it's a little bit of a stretch. What really happened was, I showed it to all these great producers, and they just said, we don't know what to do with this movie. It's a horror film from Bangladesh. We don't think this would go to film festivals. We don't know if there's an audience for this around the world, let alone in Bangladesh. We don't know if anyone's going to get it. But there was this one producer, Abu Shahid Iman. He produced my last film. It was called Iti Tomari Dhaka, Sincerely Yours Dhaka. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's on Netflix. I have a segment there called The Background Artist. So Iman Bhai, he came up to me and he said, look, Nuhash, you're really weird, and the ideas in your head are really weird. You have a very specific way of seeing the world. And I don't know, you owe it to yourself to see if the world is interested in your vision. So it doesn't matter if this does well. I think you should send it to police. I think just send it to some festivals, send it to the world, and see what the response is, because you owe it to yourself to see if anyone cares. And I'm so glad I did.